Hi everyone, welcome back to Theoretical Perspectives and Key Ideas, this tour of the development and key concept of anthropological theory and actually social theory more broadly. This week we're really getting into the meat of this module. We're in week 2 and we're going to begin our tour of fundamental anthropological concepts with the concept of society. Now, some of you may have noticed the discipline of or the bit of anthropology that I teach is called social anthropology. So that should be an indicator of how important the concept of society is to anthropology. It's made it into the very title of the subdiscipline of social anthropology. Next week we'll see the same for the concept of culture, because some people call what is roughly the same as social anthropology, they call it cultural anthropology. We'll discuss why that might be in due course. So that's another fundamental concept. So we'll be looking at this concept today, the concept of society. I will begin all of the lectures with a little clip such as this one, in which I really introduce the concept by saying a few words about why I personally think it's a really important concept in the understanding of anthropological theory. So I'll preface each week's lecture with a clip where I speak directly to camera like I'm doing now, rather than involving a PowerPoint, to just tell you one or two thoughts about why that concept is important. So why is the concept of society so important for anthropologists to think about? I mean, there's a myriad of reasons, but from my point of view, just the idea that people come together and form some kind of shape, if you like, relate them with each other in a particular configuration. And that configuration in and of itself has some kind of power over them. I find that idea really intriguing. I think it's the central kind of insight, if you like, that a focus on society as a thing that one can study in and of itself involves. And just the idea that people can relate to each other in different formations, and that those formations then have a kind of powerful effect on the manner in which they can live their lives, I find intriguing. One of the ways in which these powerful formations can be felt in people's lives is evident in the debate that, or the concern that is so kind of present with us today when we think about the way that we live with each other, which is the concern with, say, language, right? So a lot of the debates that are taking place politically right now in the world that we're living in are debates about language, what's okay to say and what's not okay to say. People talk about freedom of speech. People talk about the power of discourse. People talk about it being important to be reflective about the ways that we speak, not only just not personally to offend other people, which is a very personalized way of thinking about it, but also because somehow the idea is that the language that we use about things, the terms that we use about each other, the terms through which we express the positions that we occupy, say, in a political debate, are themselves politically important. The terms themselves are powerful. They have a power over other people. Not just to offend or not offend them, but to create, if you like, the coordinates through which people are allowed to think certain things and not allowed to think other certain things, right? So the power of language is one example of what we might want to call more broadly the power of the social. As we'll see in a moment in the following clip, language is an example of the kinds of effects that social organization can produce, right? Different social groups have different languages. They produce language, and that language has a power over them. So by looking at the concept of society, we, if you like, can engage with these very contemporary debates about, say, this whole debate about no platforming, right? Or the whole insistence in certain ends of the political spectrum that freedom of speech and the freedom indeed to offend others is sacrosanct, right? So I've already charted out two political positions that I think many of you will be aware are clashing with each other at the moment. These are clashes about the power of the social as much as anything else. So to look at the concept of society as anthropologists, which is what we're about to do for the rest of this lecture, allows you to engage really in a profound way with these kinds of current debates as well. So let me leave that there and go into the second clip in which I'll be presenting some core ideas to do with society and the social with the help of the PowerPoint. See you in clip 2.